about the Messi thing.
Anything else on the Messi front, Chris, before we move on?
No, I'm done. I'm
I'm falling out. I told you, I never want to bring this guy's name up again.
I don't know, man. This Messi thing is just a freaking mess. What a disaster.
I don't want to hear this name ever again until it's official. But they got me back.
No question about it. I am ready to get hurt again.
Chris, the Herons are back. Welcome, everybody, to episode number 75 of the Battered Herons podcast. I am your host, Daniel Granada, and alongside me, as always, is Mr. KBD. How are you doing, sir?
Dude, Messi is here, baby. Finally, we get to see him in pink without Photoshop.
He's here. He's here. And everybody was saying that Hollywood, the writers are on strike. As it turns out, they're not on strike. They were all in South Florida. They were writing up that perfect script for that debut, and it was a masterpiece. And we're going to get into all of that and more. A lot to talk about. But before we do, I actually wanted to give a quick shout out to all my Colombians. We haven't recorded since Colombian Independence Day. So for that reason, I am rocking my Higuita Scorpion, the Safe. You guys remember it from Wembley Stadium back in 90. I don't know what the hell it was. So shout out to all my fellow Colombians. Happy Independence Day, belated by like 4 days or whatever, 3 days. So, and we have a very special guest. I believe he's Argentinian. And because of that, I know it's in the past, but the anniversary's coming up soon. I got to throw my Higuita 5-0 back from like 1993 up because that's all I got to celebrate. So how you doing, Nico Bravo?
What's up, fellas? What's everyone doing? I'm excited to be here, bro. I'm excited.
Thank you. You remember that 5-0?
Coming on.
Yeah, I believe we are celebrating 7 months and 5 days since we last won the World Cup.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well played.
There you go. Right. I mean, I'm not counting on anything exactly, but just to make sure we threw that out there too. You know.
That's all I have. I got nothing else.
There you go.
All right. So Friday night was, I want to say, as perfect as it could have gotten. Even the fact that Drake Callender, out of character, let a random goal get by. It had to get by for us to have what happened at the end of the game happen. If we don't get scored on, that moment isn't as magical. So we are going to get into all of that. But before we do, I did want to just take a quick second, again, introduce formally Nico Bravo from This Is Football podcast. Yeah, a lot of people follow you on Twitter. And also, I did want to, and I hope you don't mind that I quickly bring this up. I want to congratulate you. You rang a very special bell. It's a very special bell for me because I have a lot of family that have gone through the same. So I want to congratulate you for getting through that and for doing as well as you are. So congratulations. And
thank you.
I hope nothing but good things for you.
Thank you. Appreciate that. It was a tough year, but thankfully, with my family's help and obviously the medicine, I was able to get through it. So I appreciate it.
I'm glad to hear that. So you were at the game. Chris, you were at the game. And Chris, I guess before we get going through the game in more detail, I'll let you kind of just run us through the quick highlights real quick before we get into it.
Well, so I'll go over the starting 11 real quick. So, of course, we got Drizzy Drake in the back, right, playing goalie.
Yes, sir.
Weirdly, we had Sergei Kristoff and Kamal Miller playing the center backs. Weirdly, we had DeAndre Yedlin playing left back and Ian Frey playing right back. Off rip, that was just mind-boggler. But we'll get into that because it seems like you have something you want to say there, right? We had David Ruiz, Dixon Arroyo, and Ben Krem playing the midfield. And then you had Campana as the top striker, and alongside of him, you had Robbie Robinson on the left wing, and you had Robert Taylor over on the right wing. So that's as far as the starting 11.
So as far as the starting 11, Nico, what did you think of Ian Frey out at right back? Because honestly, I wasn't a fan. I love Ian Frey. I thought that he has been playing great all years, or at least the 6 or 7 games that he's played. But I thought he looked a little off at right back. What did you think of this random change?
He definitely looked a little nervous, I would say. Unfortunately, the injury happened. I think the injury was like on minute 30 or something like that.
I think it was earlier. I think it was like 25 or 26.
20?
It was
20?
Yeah. It was around 20. It was around minute 25, 26 is when it happened. 30 is when he got subbed out for Noah Allen.
Yeah. So his best, I feel like his best, like if you want to play him and him feel comfortable, the best bet will probably be with playing 3 center backs.
Yeah.
you know, and then having someone like DeAndre Jetlin, you just be that wing that goes back and forth. However, with the team that we have, I don't think we can play like that. I don't think we have three center backs that can be uh, as strong, you know.
Well, and Tata historically likes to play with
Yeah,
four in the back, and that's why
yeah.
I thought that Kamal
Although
Miller
he
might lose
did,
his job.
although in Atlanta he did finish off when they won the title. He finished off playing with
Yes,
three in the back.
yeah, that last part of that championship season, they did run with
Yeah,
three in the back and two wing backs. Yeah, and we looked at and we saw that a couple weeks ago, but he historically likes to play with four in the back, and I mean
yeah,
it's obvious that that's what he feels more comfortable with. To put Ian Frey at right back, he's definitely going to stick with the four in the back. Chris, what
yeah.
did you think of the formation? What did anything stand out to you before we get into the goals?
So I mean, and I want to bring something up because somebody had mentioned here in the chat. It was Kata. He mentioned somewhere here that Campana's not looking good. I mean, of course, dude. Like, he wasn't playing with Messi. Like, Joseph got
Well,
on with Messi, and Joseph looks like everybody's saying, "Oh man, they're gonna pass to each other so
Yeah,
greatly." Like, of course, right? Right,
and
Nico?
if you see it technically, like I'll ask you guys, you know, who's a better player, Campana or Joseph? Technically, not as a striker.
I
Well,
don't know.
I would think that technically Campana seems like he's a better
I don't know,
technical
man.
Joseph-
player, no?
What
I
I saw
think
from
Joseph.
Joseph and Messi right off the bat, they understood each other perfectly. And not only like if we saw that, I'm pretty sure that Tata Martino saw that throughout the week in practice, and that's why he decided to go with Campana to start off. And then when Messi came on, he immediately took on Joseph as well.
I
You know
agree
what?
with you on the Joseph point. I'm sorry, Chris, just real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
I agree with you on the Joseph point being more technical and connecting with Messi quickly. But you don't think that that has a lot to do with the fact that they sat together for the whole first half and kind of broke down the game from the bench?
Yeah,
Because you could see
yeah,
them that they were talking and they were talking like, look, we have a chance here, this space here.
yeah,
If you do this, you
yeah.
could run in behind here. I think that they had a game plan just themselves with Busquets before they even walked into the game, just between them. And I think that really benefited them. And I kind of felt bad for Campana that he got taken off as soon as Messi came on.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, he's probably gonna get some minutes, you know, to play with Messi. So we'll see that.
Yeah.
We'll see who's the best fit, you know, when Messi plays. You know, I think Messi's gonna start tomorrow on Tuesday, I think.
I would
So,
hope.
You know what
But
I think?
yeah.
You know what I think? You know what I think helps Joseph is that his pace is a lot is less than Campana's. So it's easier to be able to sort of play with Messi because it's not like Campana who seems like he's just blasting off to be able to get ahead
Yeah.
against others. Whereas Joseph is yeah, and you mentioned it, very tactical, right? He's there waiting for the pass and he'll link it up with someone else and then link it back and then he'll make his move, right? So he's a little tactical, more tactical in that sense. So I think it might be for a better fit.
Yeah, and at times
So
you almost feel like Campana gets desperate on the pitch at times when he doesn't get the ball, you know?
yes,
well,
that is correct.
that's what I was about to bring up. The fact that I think that to his disadvantage, the fact that he didn't play with Messi and Busquets because the midfield opened up and you saw a lot of more clear passes moving
Yeah.
forward.
Yes.
If you watch that
yes.
first half back, you'll notice that Campana spent a lot of the time in the midfield because he kept coming back for the ball.
Yeah.
He was looking for the ball because he just wasn't getting it up top. But when
At all.
Joseph didn't have to do that because Messi and Busquets were pushing the ball forward and with ease. So I think that if Campana does get on and build some chemistry with Messi and everybody else, I think he has a chance to finally break out because I think that was the advantage that Joseph had.
This right here
Yeah.
is what I want to see. Messi and Taylor. That would be sexy.
Let me
That
tell you
would be
something.
sexy to me.
I think a lot of people underrate Taylor. I like Taylor. I don't think he's necessarily the best, but I think that he's underrated because before Messi, obviously, and all the new people that we're getting, if you ask me what player can
He's the only
kind of
one that had
create for
balls.
himself, he's the only one that can create for himself, Robert Taylor. I don't
think-
know
I
anybody
think-
else on the team.
I think Robinson can create for himself. The problem is, you
Yeah.
know, he can't stay healthy.
Well, and he
Yes,
doesn't know what to
that-
do once
that's-
he gets
that's
inside
also
the
true.
box.
Yeah.
His
yeah.
decision making needs to improve. Although I give him credit for playing out there 90 minutes,
Yeah.
and you could tell that he was ready to get subbed out when Kamal Miller went down with that injury, and then they subbed him out for I think it was McVay. He was on the
Mhm.
sideline. And he was ready to get out for I think it was Ascona.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
he-
He even had a barf moment too.
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
he did.
And you could tell in his face, he's like, I don't know if I could do this another 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
there was a play where it was a beautiful link up. It was Drake to Busquets, one touch to Messi, one touch to Joseph on the right side of the box.
Mhm.
And Joseph crossed it, But Robbie was so gassed that he just couldn't make the run, and there was nobody waiting for the ball in the middle. But if Robbie has some gas, he would have been there for that easy touch.
Easy
score.
tapping. Yeah, an easy tapping.
No, for sure.
And then so in the midfield we had David Ruiz, Dixon Arroyo, Benjamin Kremaki, and then on the right we had Robert Taylor and Robbie Robinson on the left with Campana at the top, which Robert Taylor and Robbie Robinson sort of switched off at some point in the game, which is where you saw Robert Taylor get the goal from the left side of the field, even though he was posted on the right side. Which, let me tell you, if I'm a defender watching Inter Miami and trying to watch film to be able to understand what's happening, the moment that Robert Taylor turns to his right, like, you got to know, you got to attack that space. Because if not, Robert Taylor's going to zoom it right past you.
Yeah, and I feel like I think he did. He had a goal very similar to that. I mean, it wasn't like a play where he took the one-on-one and then hit it like this one, but I think it was on the air, right? Like it was like a semi-volley.
A volley, yes.
Yeah. So he's done that before. So yeah, you're right on that.
And I mean, I don't know if you want me to go into substitutions, Danny.
No, I wanted to talk a little bit about the midfield, if you guys don't mind.
No, go for it.
I feel like we're getting some new kid. We just signed Diego Gomez. We don't know much about him, because obviously not a lot of people watch the Paraguay league. I do feel like he has a lot of abilities like Almiron, because Tata Martino knows that league very well, and he said it a couple of times. I feel like that might have David Ruiz as the odd man out in this starting formation.
Really, you don't think it's Arroyo that's going to be the odd man out?
I don't know, man. I think that Arroyo might play. I think that Arroyo might play next to Busquets because you need a destructor.
Yeah.
So you think he's going to stick with the double pivot, the double pivot, the 2-6?
I feel like he's going to do that for now.
Yeah, because Busquets does push up a lot. So you need somebody to stay back.
And we also got to remember, we have Jordi Alba coming now on the left wing. You also have DeAndre Jetlin on the right wing. Both those guys on the fence, right? So one of the guys is going to have to pinch back and help out the center backs.
Well, I think that's why the defense looks so good the first the first 2.5 games is because Gregory was helping out a lot.
Correct.
Because you had Negri and Yerlin all up top, but Gregory was filling that hole in the middle, so the other two fullbacks, center backs, kind of spread out, and that helped a lot. And since that's been the biggest missing piece since Gregory's gone is
I don't know when Gregory's coming back. The club hasn't said anything about Gregory's comeback, so I know that they've shown videos of him training, but when we asked the club didn't address his timeline.
I think if Gregory comes back, it'll be late October, mid-October, like nothing early.
What we do know is that Jan Mota is ready to play. Actually, he was actually added into the Leagues Cup roster, so that to me was a big surprise, and that will be a key addition to the team as well.
So who do you think is losing their spots? Because I don't think David Ruiz is going to see the field very much more.
No, he's losing his spot.
I thought the two people that were going to keep seeing the field were going to be Ian Frey and Kremaki. I thought those are the two that would keep seeing the field.
I thought those two as well, because Tata Martino spoke very highly of Ian Frey as well. And I feel like with that injury, obviously, is very unfortunate. So we're going to see a lot more of Yetlin on that side. And I don't know who's going to be a cover-up for that.
Well, I guess
I really like Noah Allen, though. I think that Tata Martino really likes Noah Allen as well. He's the first guy off the bench.
He's a bulldog. He's a bulldog.
Yes.
You know what? He likes Ian Frey more because I look, if I'm not into getting soccer jerseys with players on the back. I really don't. I don't like doing that. Noah Allen is probably the only player I would consider get outside of Messi, of course, on the back of my jersey because I'm a really big Noah Allen fan. But the fact that he put Yandlin to start at left back tells me that he doesn't fully trust Noah Allen because that's Noah Allen's spot.
I feel like no, and you know what? And I'll tell you why I feel like he did this. Cruz Azul's best player plays on the right wing, which is Uriel Antuna. He was just coming off, winning the Gold Cup with Mexico, and he was a key player to the Mexican national team.
He's the one that scored.
He's the one that scored against us. If you were to start Noah Allen, I feel like
on the left,
being that unexperienced player might have had an effect, especially if you consider that on the other side you also had a very young player in Ian Frey. Yeah. Correct.
Well, I felt like maybe, I mean, it was just extremely weird to see Yedlin over on the left, but now that you explained it with Uriel, being one of their, I guess, powerhouse players, I guess
Antuna.
it's a little bit, yeah, it's,
And don't get
yeah,
me wrong. And don't get me wrong. Uriel Antuna did whatever he wanted against DeAndre as well. So
yes.
there goes to show
So
you.
regardless of who you
Exactly.
played there,
Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly.
Well, I will
Well,
tell you
I
that I
think,
thought
I
Nellen held
think,
his own when he did come in.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did.
and I think that it's unfortunate for sure that Ian Frey suffered that injury. And the worst part is we're talking about what is this his third ACL injury within the last 3 years.
Yeah.
I mean, he was, my wife was watching the game on TV and she said that she could see him tearing and crying. I mean, not only just for the injury's sake, but you're just starting to get into rhythm as a player. And Ian Frey was really hitting a different gear at this point.
Yeah.
Not saying that he's legendary or anything like that, but the fact that he was sort of gearing towards being consistently effective, and then for boom, in the snap of a finger, like literally non-contact injury, he goes down. And now we, like you mentioned, you're talking about Mota. Gregory was on the list for the Leagues Cup. So,
Was Gregory on the list? I didn't. I don't
No,
recall.
Gregory was on this, and I don't think Mota. Where did you see that Mota?
I
was on the
saw.
list? didn't see that.
I think I saw Mota on the list.
Okay,
if I'm
I'm
not
gonna look
mistaken.
it up. I'm gonna look it up. Go ahead, Chris.
No, and I was gonna say the new player that we have coming in from Argentina. I'm pretty sure he's
Facundo?
gonna take. Yeah. So I'm pretty sure he's gonna take David Ruiz's spot.
Well, no, he's a forward, so he's gonna play out wide. So he's either gonna take Robinson's spot
okay.
or Robert Taylor.
Ooh.
So
I think you're talking about Diego Gomez.
Oh yeah, Diego Gomez. Yes,
Diego Gomez
that's what I
is
was
the far
talking
wide.
about. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a bit offensive, so that's why I believe that he might take David Ruiz's spot, because I see David Ruiz as being more of an offensive midfielder rather than a defensive midfielder.
Ooh, wow, that's actually I actually saw a kind of different. I thought that maybe Ben Krem looked like he was a little bit more offensive, and that David Ruiz was a little bit more of a bulldog on defense.
Yeah, but I'm considering now from what we had prior to Sergio Busquets arriving. Now that Sergio Busquets is going to be the pivot, I feel like those guys that he's going to have around have to be more offensive.
Oh, most definitely, most definitely. And other than that, Danny, I mean, if you want me to get into some substitutions, I can cover those. Obviously, we had some pretty big substitutions, right?
Yeah, go ahead, get into substitutions, and then we'll get into
the moment.
Yeah. So I mean,
because we were talking about the moment.
Yes, and so we had Ian Frey. Of course, he came out off of injury. No Allen came in for him, and then in one shot at the 54th minute, we had Sergio Busquets coming in for David Ruiz. We had Joseph coming in for Campana, and then last but not least, we had Lionel Messi coming in for Ben Krem, just like how we predicted, Danny. How crazy is that, huh?
Well, we predicted that it would happen in the 60th minutes, more or less. Nico, without lying, when did you think he was going to come in? Because I heard some people say 5 minutes, 10 minutes. We also said 60th minute.
I thought that he was going to have 30 minutes tops. That's what I thought that he was going to have.
I thought the same. And my wife is the one that pointed him out to me. And she said, look, he's warming up over there with the red warm-up jersey. I was like, oh, that's cool. Then I saw him jogging to the midfield. I was like,
the stadium went wild.
When he took off the red warm-ups, I was like, no way.
I actually saw, I was actually right there on that corner. And I saw Tata Martino's moment when he literally called him over. And then he's like, me? And then he takes off that bib, and the stadium went crazy. It was a fun, it's actually a fun moment, man. I actually enjoyed that. I'm not gonna lie. It was almost like if we scored a goal.
And the crazy part about it is, and I was sitting there watching it, and that's a historical moment, right?
Yeah.
Not only just in his career, but in terms of just Messi entering into the MLS. That's a historical moment, and that's something that will be that will live on forever and ever, Danny. And that's aside from the goal that he scored.
Yeah, it was crazy.
All right, so
and
he came in,
and the fact that he comes in, and I tweeted this. The fact that he comes in for that, and it might be coincidental, like we don't know, but he comes in for the number 30, which he used in
Yeah.
PSG. So pretty much saying, forget this number 30 that I wore. I'm back to being
Mhm.
number 10. I'm back to being the GOAT. You know,
I thought that was really cool.
surreal.
I
Yeah.
didn't notice it until I started seeing it going around on Twitter. That's a very cool
Yeah.
moment, and it's also cool that when he first checked into PSG for the first time, he checked in for Mbappe, and number 10 was leaving as number 30 was entering. So I thought it was very cool, those two moments. Now, real
Yeah.
quick,
Yeah.
I did want to go in, and here is the roster for the Leagues Cup, and it looks like John Mota is not on the Leagues
Okay.
Cup roster.
Okay.
So
But Gregory,
so-
is he?
no,
Gregory, yeah, he is
No,
actually. Gregory's there. Yeah.
Is Gregory on?
So
here?
Gregory is there and John Mota is not. Interesting.
Mm.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Yeah.
I knew I knew Gregory. I'd seen Gregory on that list. I just didn't
Yeah.
see Mota. I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
All right. So
Hold
I
on,
don't-
Kara. This is the question that Kara's been asking a couple times already. Should he get the pink or black Messi jersey? I'm telling you right now, Kara, get the pink.
well, you got to
That's
get the
just my
pink because you can get the black one next year.
Well, can you
The
get the
pink one
pink
goes
ones?
away.
That's a question. Can you even buy that now? Because I was at the stadium and they had no sizes.
Well, depends. If you want the authentic, I don't know if they have it at the stadium, but the replica they have it everywhere. I was at Dick's Sporting Goods the other day and they had a bunch with
Oh,
Messi
wow.
on the back
Okay.
already and everything. But that's
Alright.
the replica. It's $120. If you want the authentic,
That's
that
like
one might be a little
$200.
harder. Yeah, it
Yeah.
might
Oh,
be a
yeah,
little
for
hard to get your
sure.
hands on
You guys have
Which,
any?
I mean-
You guys have the authentic or replica one?
because it's only one a year. I usually buy all the authentics. But
Okay.
again,
Yeah.
no name on
Is
the
it
back.
is the material different?
Not really.
No?
It's
I mean,
similar. Like
The only thing, and then on top of that, you don't have any logos, right?
it's breathable mesh.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
still comfortable. It's still a comfortable quality. I
Yeah.
would recommend getting it. I would recommend getting the replica if you're going to put a name on the back. I mean, well, maybe since it's Messi, I would get the authentic and then put the name on the back because it's Messi. But if it's like anybody else, just get it.
Now,
a
I don't know. I
replica.
feel like I want to wait for the for the next season's jerseys. I feel like they're gonna
Well,
do something different.
It should be pink because it's gonna be a light color. Unless
Well,
they go
yeah.
back to white, it's gonna be pink. So
Yeah.
I don't know. But I say, especially since you got the moment now, like we have the moment, and we're gonna get into
Yeah.
the moment right now. But you have the moment. You
Yeah.
want to get that pink jersey because that was the moment. That is
Yeah.
the I am here. Jajege. That is the moment.
Definitely.
So
Definitely,
let's
yeah.
get into that. So it played out as about as perfect as we could have imagined. It was a draw all the way towards the end, and once it hit the 90th minute, and they said 2 minutes of extra time. One, I couldn't understand why it was only 2 minutes, and two, I was kind of nervous. I've been saying on this show since last year. I wish that this League's Cup format that they would just adopt it.
Yeah,
I am all
sure.
for just give me
Oh my
the
God.
give me the drama of PKs after a 90-minute draw and give an extra point to the winner. I love the drama. Give it to me. But
Like
I will
overall,
say-
like
regular
MLS,
season.
regular
Yeah,
season,
regular season.
Okay.
I know. For the soccer purists, they think that it's blasphemy. But I'm all for it. Just give me that entertainment. Because when I
Hey,
leave
man,
and it's a 1-1 draw,
we're,
I'm like,
we're in America, dude. We're in America. NBA, NFL. You gotta get that.
give me a winner.
Yeah, definitely.
But
I would love winners every time. I don't want any ties. You know how I feel about kissing kissing sisters here, Danny.
yeah, well, I mean, if you want to kiss brothers, that's a whole other thing. So so I just lost my train of thought with your brother comment.
Yeah, because you just tossed that up there.
Messi
like-
moment. Yeah,
Messi-
go ahead.
Messi moment. Oh yeah, so he came in and I thought it was going to go to penalty kicks, but I think penalty kicks as a fan when it's your team playing, I think it's the most stressful thing you could watch in sports. It's
Yes.
very stressful. So I was already preparing myself, and another thing that I was preparing myself is for. Look, I am a Real Madrid fan, so I was never a big Messi fan. Now I will tell you, and anybody that knows me knows, I never said Ronaldo was better than Messi. I always thought that was silly talk, but I was never
Yeah.
a Messi fan because I'm Real Madrid. So the one thing I would always say is, but Messi always misses penalty kicks, right? That was always my go-to. Let me tell you something. I was like, please don't go to penalty kicks. Because the last thing I need is for him to miss a penalty kick in this big moment and in this big game. And man, it ended up being the fact that he got fouled on the second minute of extra time when they only gave 2 extra minutes. did anybody doubt that he was making that goal? I don't pull
No
out my
one.
phone for a free kick.
No one.
I don't pull
No
out my
one.
phone for a free kick. And I saw somebody said, scream for me, Danny, because they saw the way I was cheering. I don't like just randomly record that. But when I saw that free kick happened, I was like, I got to pull out my phone because I think he's going to make this because it just was perfect. And I got goosebumps just thinking about it again. I got
Yeah.
goosebumps.
Yeah, man.
So
Yeah.
it is awesome. And it was a genuine reaction. I know my wife's like, don't you think people are going to think that you kind of faked it? Like, if they think I faked it, that's fine. But I had my phone out and I didn't know
No.
what to do with my hands. I just started yelling. That's all I started doing. It was an awesome moment. And I'm so glad I was there for it. And it's going to be a moment that lives on forever because, I mean, is there going to be a bigger goal in MLS history? I don't know if there is. So what were you thinking when he saw that foul in the 92nd minute? Because, I mean, you said that you thought that it was going to go in also.
Chris or myself?
Oh,
Well,
go ahead. Sorry, Nico.
Go ahead,
go
Chris.
ahead,
Go ahead, Chris.
No, I just want to answer one thing before I get to my reaction. If anybody thinks that was fake, I've known this kid for 26 years. That was not fake. So for all of you thinking that was dramatized, it was absolutely not. That is why he doesn't watch sports around people.
Yeah, I'm not much of a screamer, all of that, but I lost my mind. I don't know if you
Yeah.
saw the video, Nico, but I lost my mind.
Yeah. And
I lost my absolute mind.
I feel like what you went through is probably what everyone that was at the stadium happened because you had all this adrenaline, rush just catching up to you. You were, pre-game, knowing that Messi is here, knowing that Messi's gonna play, not knowing when he was gonna come on. He comes in earlier than we thought. He's actually balling because every single play he actually did was incredible. Every ball he touched, you're just amazed about it. You're looking at this guy and you're like, how is this guy playing in Inter Miami right now? Like, what is he doing, dude? Like, he's still, and obviously I'm gonna be very biased about this. He's still the best player in the world.
Biased. I think he's still the best player. Like I told you,
in the world, dude.
Real Madrid fan, hate Barcelona, but at no point did I deny he is the best. That's why I didn't like him because he was the best.
Absolutely. And just it's one of those moments where you're like, I don't know. It almost felt like if Steph Curry was about to take a free throw, like that shit's gonna go in. Like Messi's actually gonna score that free kick. Everyone. I was sitting right underneath one of the goal that he actually scored, and I looked back to the to La Familia, and every single person had their phone out because they knew that ball was going to go in.
It was a guarantee. The moment that happened, I told my son, I said, there's literally no time left. This is written in the stars. This is going in. This is going in. And there's absolutely no way this was not going to go in.
And it almost looked like it was planned.
Yes.
Like if you think about it.
But he did get legitimately fouled, though. Like
although the Cruz Azul player complained, afterwards he complained about not fouling him.
Well, I think there was more of a foul on the way down when the guy hit him with his arm and hit him in the face. Like the guy that was complaining was one that felt like he bodied him. If that free kick happens in the 86th minute, in the 88th minute, I don't pull out my phone. I don't hit record. It's not as special. What was special is that they only gave us 2 minutes of extra time, and he got fouled on the second minute. It was like a few seconds after the 92nd minute. Like it couldn't have been any more perfect. And it also helps that Cruz Azul had like a very small supporter section. Like they were scattered, but there was a supporter section. It was section 124, rows 1, 2, 3, and 4.
And you were next.
I was sitting in row 4.
There was like a whole pack behind me.
It's a blue. There's 4 blue rows, and in the very right side of your TV, you'll see 2 pink shirts. That's me and my wife. That was us, and I think that might have added to the adrenaline rush when we finally scored. Like 3.5 years of pain, everything just came out of me, and like I said, and by coincidence, my brother bought seats in the section next to ours, and he ended up on the aisle. I was on an aisle. And it was just pure coincidence. I looked at him. We ran. We hugged. We jumped in each other's arms. It was mayhem. But man, I'm never gonna forget that moment. Awesome.
Yeah, we might not make playoffs this year, but that moment is gonna live on forever.
We're gonna make the playoffs.
I had the pleasure of sitting in front of like 10 or 15 Cruz Azul fans, and then right before them was an Argentinian that said "Concha de tu madre" like 45 times. So it was a beautiful experience. It was beautiful.
Bullfrog.
Be- before we keep going on the Messi reactions and all the drama that went through, I want to give. I don't know what you guys thought about this, but Busquets looked
we have to get
incredible.
into Busquets. Oh my
Yes.
god.
Busquets looked incredible,
Oh,
and that guy is like the best center midfielder in the MLS by like miles, and he only played 30 minutes.
And you know what? And we're gonna get into him because
Good.
I thought that coming in, I wasn't sure about his stamina here in Miami, his age, box to box. But when I look back at this past year, he played 90 minutes just about every game that he played. And once I saw that, I was like, okay, I'm good with this. And I just wanted to address Bullfrog real quick. It's not Madrid fans that think that way. Nobody hates the bad players. You only hate the good ones. Barcelona fans didn't hate Ronaldo because he sucked. They hated Ronaldo because he was good. So I just wanted to address that real quick. It's not Madrid fans. It's just we hate the people that. Speaking of which, what's that guy that used to play for or Chris Mueller? They used to play for Orlando. Right in the first half, I was sitting next to this guy. He said he was
destroyed.
His best friend. He's like, I was sitting next to a guy, and he's like, "Oh, Chris Mueller's my best friend." I was like, "Oh, I hate that guy. I'll make sure that I let you know if you watch the podcast. Shout you out and let you know that I hate your best friend." And then he bought seats next to ours, and then he bought seats in the other side, in the north side for the second half. So because he wanted to make sure that he was smart decision, I guess, if you got the money for it.
Yeah. Well, and I want to mention something in the videos that I've been seeing of Busquets playing. Look, it's like what Kata's mentioning right now, right? Busquets is so calm, and not only is that the case, but then you also have like every 3 seconds he'd always look back. Where's Messi?
His
Where's
scanning
this
is
guy?
incredible.
And oh my goodness!
Incredible.
Listen, I play basketball, so I get that, right? But when you're like a distributor in that sense, where you're in the middle of the field to be able to conquer vision of like you're talking about, you're conquering maybe like 8-9 players in the blink of an eye, and for him to be able to do that so efficiently, it was amazing to watch. It was amazing to watch Messi, but to watch Busquets from a defensive perspective, that was just on another level, Danny.
If you watch back the game, when they came into the game, it was a goal kick. And you watch the first 30 seconds, you'll see Busquets directing traffic, pointing, and right away taking command of the defense and the outlet balls that he was basically.
He had one bad play. He had one bad play.
He almost gave up a goal.
He gave up that ball, and then we got countered, and luckily the guy didn't know what to do with the ball. But other than that, everything was perfect.
And this is perfect, Bryant. Busquets without the ball is orgasmic. That is 1,000% factual. That is official tissue at its officialist.
Yes. Well, I guess before we get into Busquets, I guess we could set it up by talking about the first half and how our midfield was basically non-existent. Kremansky didn't have a very good first half. He was giving up the ball a lot in the midfield, and every time we gave up the ball in the midfield, it was transitioned the other way. If it's not for Drake Callender, I know he gave up a goal that he wishes he can get back. If it's not for Drake Callender, we don't have a chance of winning that game because they scored 3 or 4 goals.
It was 4-0 at first half. 4-1 it could have been.
Well, and are we going to talk about Drake, or are we going to talk a little bit about the midfield? Because if we're going to talk about Drake, I want to mention one thing. I want to mention one thing about Drake Callender, that I am so happy that all the people that tuned in to watch Messi play, that are new fans to MLS, got to be able to witness what kind of a goalkeeper we have. Because remember in the beginning, a couple of weeks ago, Danny, where there were people like, oh, your goalkeeper's trash. Mm-hmm. For them to see how he was saving goals left and right, like he was upside down half the match.
Yeah. And again, the beauty of Apple TV, if you want, go back, I think it's the 88th minute. You'll see, I forgot who it was. I don't think it was Altuna. Somebody came in and they hit a beautiful ball that I don't know how his reflex got him down to block that shot, but that was the best block of the night. It was the 88th minute. Probably would have ended up being the game
right
winner.
On the side. He covered it right on the side to his left.
To his left. Yes, I was right behind that goal. And
Yeah.
let me tell you something. I thought that was going in when I saw that guy kick the ball. I was like, that's in. And his reflex was so quick to block that
Oh,
shot.
my goodness.
Yeah.
That might have been the play of the game if not for Messi's goal.
I love Callender. I've been very very big, on him. But at times, I almost feel like he's a great goalkeeper, but he just has that one moment in the game where he just can cost you one, and that it could have been that 1-1 that we had, because Antuna's goal, you almost feel like that could have been saved, right?
Well, yeah, and that's not like him, but I think he was setting it up for that Hollywood ending. Like like the soccer gods had to come down. It's like, sorry, buddy, you gotta let one in.
You got to
You
take
gotta
this
let one
L
in.
right here.
Because
I
we gotta
think-
give
I
Messi
think-
his
I-
moment.
I think if he wants to take it to the next level, maybe this offseason, he has to work on footwork.
Yeah,
I almost
of course,
feel-
of course.
I almost feel like that's the area that he's missing. He can
Yeah.
be an elite goalkeeper. He can be in those,
He's
goalkeepers
an
that
elite
go overseas.
shot stopper.
And this
he's
is-
big. He's got size.
Yes. And this is facts right here, Broward. Broward here, I'm mentioning if we have better defense, he would have never conceded that goal. And
Yeah,
and,
we're working on that.
yeah,
But-
and Mike B, Callender won the game for your information. I
100%.
Messi had a little part in it too, but Callender, I'd say yes, he won you the game. He had like a 400 saves.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
if somebody were to tell me that Drake ended up winning man of the match, I wouldn't
I wouldn't have been
argue
surprised.
it.
Drake put the team in a position for Messi to win the game.
Yes.
Because if it
Yes.
wasn't because he saved the those key moments, then we would have been 1-1.
It wouldn't have been.
No, at
Yeah.
all.
And to the point of that goal, our defense hasn't been great, obviously, right? Because Drake wouldn't be shining the way he is if our defense was good. The reason everybody's bringing up Drake is because he has to block so many shots because our defense isn't good. But this goal was off another set piece. I don't know if people remember. This was off of a corner kick. They
Yeah.
kicked it they passed it to the top of the box, and it was a quick through ball to inside
it's
the
been-
box.
And it's been the
it-
issue all season. It's been the
That's
issue
it.
all season.
Yes.
The team cannot. When it comes to tactics, they can't get it. They can't catch a break. I thought that
No.
was going to fix this because I thought that was Neville's fault.
Well,
But
to be
I guess
fair, it's still early.
Yeah, it is.
But we
But,
have big guys. It's not like Inter Miami doesn't have big guys. So you throw in Kamal Miller, Ian Frey was a pretty big guy. Chris
Ian Frey wasn't there when they scored.
Was
was
he?
already
No,
out.
no, he
Yeah,
was
he
out.
was already
Yeah,
out.
he was out. Yeah, you're right. He was out.
It's just those two, and then Robinson.
Oh, you
I
have
think-
Robinson's pretty tall. You have
And then
Campana,
Campana.
who's pretty tall as well.
Yeah,
So
I don't know what it is, and it wasn't a header this time. It was just
Yeah,
bad marking.
yeah.
It was just bad
yeah,
marking.
it's
setup.
bad marking. Yeah,
And to Lucas, I'm gonna send you a private message on how we can get a battered hair on.
Yeah,
hat.
we're gonna-
You don't
we're
worry
gonna-
about that, Poppy.
Yeah, we
I
got
got
you
you.
covered. We're gonna
I'm a
get you on the house.
bro.
On the house.
you gotta get them out there, bro.
So for sure, it was special, and I think that if not for Drake, definitely Messi doesn't get that moment. But now let's talk about the second half and how things changed once Messi and Busquets came in. Well, before I was expecting Messi to get 30 minutes, but I also said I wouldn't be shocked if Busquets doesn't play at all, or if he plays minimal minutes, because he really showed up late. He
Yeah.
came in on Sunday. He
Yeah,
showed
but he
up.
was fit. But he was fit. We spoke to
Well,
him.
that's
I
what
had
I've
the-
heard.
I had the chance to speak to him prior to the game, match day -1. We were able to do an interview thanks to my job at Univision, and I asked him, afterwards, and he told me that he's been training by himself, throughout all this time that all the visa paperwork was going through, and all the preparations
Yeah.
to the paperwork, and he actually mentioned that he was getting fit to be able to play. One thing is to be fit, and another thing is to be game fit.
Game day. Yeah.
Yes,
Exactly.
yeah.
So I mean, I'm really not shocked, honestly, because those guys are elite. Those type of players really don't need much time. When it comes to being tactically there, especially Busquets. Talking about one of the best center midfielders in the world.
Yeah, well, and I think that's the thing. The reason I always thought that Messi would play 30 minutes is because, I mean, when you see him on the ball, he's fast, right? He gets from point A to point B fast. But when he doesn't have the ball, he's not
floating.
exerting. He's
He's
not
floating.
exerting unnecessary energy. He's
No, he's
saving
not.
his energy for when he needs it. So I was like,
Yeah.
he could play 30 minutes. Sergio Busquets is the one that I was surprised. You guys weren't surprised when he came in at the same time? Because I understand why he did it. I heard what Tata said afterwards. But
Yeah.
as it was happening, you weren't surprised that he came in at the same time as Messi?
No, I knew he was gonna get 30 minutes. And to be fair, I don't know if they tracked how long he ran throughout
Yeah,
the game, but
they
he
probably
also
did.
timed himself. And I don't know if you guys noticed, but we actually had the possession a lot more when he came on than when he wasn't on the pitch. So
no, for
when you
sure.
have when you have possession of the ball, you run less. So
Right.
that's why I feel like it was okay for him to actually get 30 minutes.
And honestly, it's like what you mentioned though. I mean, Messi just is really good at saving his energy. And I didn't see Busquets move around as like that much. It's not like he was a Gregory, which I can't wait to see Gregory come back and play with Busquets, because that's going to be something to see as well. And you're
Yeah.
going to reserve a lot of energy as Busquets will. That's going to be very, very helpful.
Well, I think the thing that Busquets did so well was just one touch and push the ball
Just
forward.
orchestrating, just being the
Because
maestro.
our offense all year has been so stagnant. Our
Yeah.
midfield is just passing it horizontally, not
Yeah.
vertically. They're just going back and forth trying to figure out what to do. But he, without thinking, he found Messi on so many balls between two defenders, just perfectly placed, and
There was
you
one.
could just
Yeah.
tell that they was in sync.
Yeah. I mean, they've played with each other, I don't know,
Yeah.
for like what, 20 years?
Well, it
know,
hasn't
so
been. They've been without each other for the last 2 years. But
yeah,
you can
but
tell that it was
that's
just like riding
it
a
was
bike.
like-
exactly.
Yeah.
That's like riding a bike. That's easy to catch up. There was one play that I was very, very amazed about, and I saw it like right in front of me. And I don't know if you guys saw the highlights, because I think they made a video on Twitter of just Busquets highlights.
Was
He
it the chip
received-
play?
No, he receives a ball, and then when he receives the ball, he just takes one touch on it. Like, he doesn't stop the ball and then scan. He literally just knows the ball's coming, and as the ball's coming towards him, he just takes one touch and he puts it between two defenders so that Messi gets the ball, and he actually tries to take one guy and he hits it, and I think one of the guys blocked it. But it was an amazing play. When I saw that, I was like, oh my god, these guys are gonna just destroy this league when it comes to that.
Yeah. It was.
Well,
It's something else.
I'm excited, and I know it's stupid to think about, but I think that we are coming into an era where we're gonna see such greatness that after the 2.5 or 3.5 years are over, it's gonna leave a really big gap, because you're not.
It's like
I don't know if you
LeBron.
could
It's
ever
like when
get this
LeBron.
class,
It's like when LeBron was here.
right?
It's like when
Because
LeBron was here.
you just don't get that back. So you
Yeah.
have to make sure that for the next 2.5, 3.5 years, you make it to every game possible. You don't
Yeah.
miss any game on Apple TV or wherever it is that you watch the games, because what we're about to experience, you might never see again. So make sure that you soak it all in, because we're in the presence of greatness right now, and I couldn't be more excited.
Well, and I
Yeah.
think that's the whole idea of bringing in young guys and keeping the most skilled young guys, is because you hope that they retain everything that they're seeing. And if they do decide to stay long term, these young guys, that they can be able to sort of take what they've learned, obviously not at that same level, but as close as they can to it, to be able to sort of have this like up and coming team that'll keep you balancing up at the top, instead of just catastrophically dropping to the bottom again.
Yeah, and these guys are only gonna make those kids better. By
course.
playing next to them, you're only gonna get better. So,
Hey, show some respect, Steve Munoz. Okay, Tata ball over Neville ball. Like, yes, that's obvious, especially when
that's-
Tata ball comes
You have to
packaged with
understand, Nico.
Messi and Busquets. Like, what are we doing?
Chris,
What are we doing?
Chris loves Neville. So
oh man,
Show some respect, bro.
I feel bad for you, bro. What's wrong
Chris
with
loves Neville and Emerson
you?
Rodriguez are his two
he got-
favorites.
Are you a United fan? Are you a United fan? Is that what you love?
Listen,
Neville?
he got dealt the short end of the stick, Nico. It's
Oh,
hurting
man.
my heart a little bit. Okay.
Oh, my eyes will get watery every time I watched him on the sidelines.
The beauty of seeing Messi with the ball,
I don't think I got my
seeing-
shirt here.
one, he pushes the ball right away without thinking. But I think the most beautiful thing is how he takes 2 or 3 defenders with him everywhere he goes.
Yeah,
Because wherever he went, 2 or 3 defenders closed in on him. And all of a sudden, what we haven't seen all year, you just saw everything just open up. Look at this guy. For those of you listening on audio, just so you know, Chris pulled up his favorite Phil Neville shirt. Show some effing respect.
You can keep
Um,
talking. I just want to keep this up here, okay?
yeah, I know. All right, so I think that was the beauty. The beauty was the fact that you see the space that we couldn't find before. We were
No.
lost in the final third, and all of a sudden, you saw Yedlin crossing to the center, and there was space. Robbie Robinson was finding crosses that we finally had some space. Like you saw space in there for people to work. Joseph will finally have an opportunity to bring back some old Joseph. Maybe he can't be the 2018 Joseph anymore,
Yeah.
but he can be a much better version of what we've seen because he has done or he's gonna have so much space to work with. And that's I kind of want to see Campana playing.
And when these guys, they start firing in all cylinders, you're gonna see a lot more space, like you said, and the others are actually gonna be able to produce. Like for example, a lot of people, in our podcast at the beginning of the year, I said that Joseph was gonna hit around 15 goals.
I said the same.
Unfortunately,
I said
unfortunately, he hasn't reached those levels yet. But
Yeah.
now I don't know, because with Messi there, maybe he gets 3-4 chances a game. So,
yeah.
who
Well,
knows?
don't feel it too bad because you said 15. I said 30 between Campana and Joseph.
Jesus.
So just about 15 for each.
Oh
So I
no,
also
yeah,
thought big things.
yeah,
So
no. After watching
I
a
mean,
few games, I was like, oh no, maybe not.
well, I mean, I don't know. I don't think it's too far fetched though, Danny. I don't think it's far fetched to have
he's
those
not scoring
predicted
15 in 12
numbers.
games though.
I mean, no. I mean, at this
I mean,
point
he has
now,
6 right now. He has 6. Joseph has 6 right now, so
So he can score
so
9
he,
in
he
12
can
games.
score
Maybe.
9. He can score 9 in 12 games.
A hat trick here or there, maybe.
Yeah, but you're
right.
taking goals away from Messi, and I don't think that's happening.
I just don't think it's that far fetched though, Danny. I mean, before the season started, I think it was pretty. I don't know if it was going to be in the bag, obviously, but I feel like it wasn't far fetched to say that they'd be scoring those numbers.
I didn't
Yeah.
think so either, but some people were telling me that I was crazy. Brian, I'm not sure what plug you're talking about. He says he needs my plug. I don't
Your
know.
plug
Probably,
for the
probably
maybe
for
for the drugs that you're consuming.
Because I thought they was
Maybe.
gonna
Oh,
score
because you said
15.
30. Yeah, because of the 30. Yeah, the
I
30
thought
goals.
30 between both of them wasn't a big deal. I thought they could each get 15 or so. Anyway, so I said I hope everybody comes out and kind of soaks in the moment from now on because we have greatness. But I will tell you, I know that they said it was a sold out stadium, but not every seat was filled. I saw a lot of empty seats, unfortunately. And obviously, it's because the resellers couldn't sell them at the prices that they wanted to sell them for.
Yeah.
Did you guys notice that? And do you think this is going to continue to be an issue? Because it really sucks. Because I really wanted to see like a jam-packed stadium. And I mean,
Unfortunately, it's a
it
Messi
wasn't
effect.
half empty. Yeah, yeah. It wasn't necessarily half empty, but you did see seats in every section here and there that were empty, and that really sucked because I really wanted to see a full stadium.
Yeah, so I saw a stat. I believe it was this morning, where they said that the average price for the game, I think it was $440. So if you do the math, 22,000 people, that's around $9 million in revenue just on sold
Está
seats.
bien.
So I'm pretty
Well,
sure
well,
the team. I'm pretty sure the team doesn't care if there's one seat.
No, they're good.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
them,
tell
it's
you
sold
what
out.
I'm gonna tell you what I'm very surprised about though, and what sort of scares me. And Danny, we've been talking about this over the weekend. With the amount that they raised the prices to, and just generally before it hit the secondary market, it kind of scares me in what's to be expected for people to renew their season tickets.
yeah.
Because you guys that have season tickets, that deal, whatever you had, you can kiss that
Oh,
goodbye,
yeah,
buddy.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
forget
that's not
about
happening.
it. Like,
It's gonna be 3 or
whatever.
4 times more.
Oh
Mhm.
my goodness! But like, where's the where's the like
The
the
loyalty,
seniority there? Where's the loyalty there? You know what I mean? I mean, I don't
money
know.
talks.
I don't know.
Yeah.
And money does talk, Papa. Money does
Yeah.
talk.
Messi talks.
Which
Yeah.
yes, Messi talks and money talks, and as you can tell, they're on a Royal Caribbean
Well,
cruise,
but-
which is
but
one
you-
of the
but you
best
could- but you can put it-
vacation
but you can
methods,
put
by
it
the
this
way,
way as
just so
well.
you guys know.
But you can put it this way as well. I know that there's a lot of fans that go to every single game, but there's a lot of fans that don't. And for those
Yeah.
fans that don't go to every single game, they're gonna have value on their season tickets to be able to resell their tickets. Because
Yeah.
if you think about it, like back like a year ago or 2 years ago, if you were a season ticket holder, there was times where if you couldn't go to the game, you had to give the ticket away because you were not selling that ticket.
Oh yeah, Look, we used to give tickets away all the time on here. That ain't happening anymore. If I
That's
can't
not
make it to a
happening.
game,
Yeah.
I'm selling that bad boy.
Exactly. So
Well,
it goes both ways.
and you know what? I got a message for Inter Miami. You guys better get your gift giving game up because the stuff that you gave in the beginning, you remember
Those
that
little
they
flags,
gave.
those little flags
Yeah.
ain't working, huh?
Yeah, that's not working. What they give us the little
I
card
like
in the
the
beginning.
flags.
What with the little shoe box that they gave me with a freaking what's this thing? The fucking what's that thing
What was
called? Dan? Yeah,
the
that
first the first game? I think was a shirt, right? Was it a shirt?
There was a flag.
It was a flag, right? The first game.
Yeah. But look,
Yeah,
look,
you're
this
right.
wasn't too bad. Look, you got a scarf. You got a a patch that you could put on
look at
yourself.
this guy. You got a bunch of stuff that I could buy at
Well, this is
at
all they
Gnocchi
gave us.
Barato. At Gnocchi, I could get all that stuff at Gnocchi Barato for like $3, right?
Yeah.
And
Hey, they're gonna sponsor us. You
One
yeah,
throwing
look at
gems
this,
out there.
Bruno. You're having a party for a lanyard, Bruno. Get out of here. Get out of
One
here.
thing I do want to complain about is the parking.
Mm.
Parking can't
Oh,
be
that's
going
another
from
disaster.
$30 to $70 in a
Yeah.
matter of 1 week just
You
because
guys
Messi
are
got here.
crooks.
Yeah,
That's
man.
that's just messed up, man.
That's rough because
It
I was
is.
paying for season ticket holders, so maybe they'll when it's regular season again, maybe they'll go back to $17, hopefully. But because it's Leagues Cup, they're like, oh, it's different. So they charged me $40 when I was getting charged 17 before. But I will tell you, getting out of the stadium was easy. I got out in like 2 or 3 minutes. I don't know
Oh
how
my
your
God.
experience was. I don't know how your experience
Well,
was, but I got in
You
my
know
car
how mine was.
2 or 3 minutes, not even 2 or 3 minutes, and I was out. I was almost home, like 40 minutes down the line when Chris is like, "I'm still here." Oh my God.
Oh man.
Listen, I think I left 2.5 minutes after you, and they made me go around the warehouses. It was rest in peace for me.
Did
I
you
was
guys leave
sitting-
right after the game? Right after the game?
I left maybe
I run
3
out of
minutes
there
after.
because of my
Oh, man.
fear for the traffic. I ran out of there.
Oh, so you didn't
Yeah.
get to celebrate or anything like that?
Let me
Nah, I
tell you,
celebrated in
people
my
are
car.
lucky. People are lucky that my horn in my car doesn't work, and there's a reason that the horn in my car doesn't work.
Yeah, because you're a maniac.
Overused.
I'm not a maniac. I'm not a
No.
maniac. I just like to alert people when they're doing bad stuff.
All right, so the parking getting out was rough. Then I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Well, see, this is why I didn't stay to celebrate, Nico. I needed to go pick up my kids.
Yeah, there you go.
I went with my wife. I got to go pick up the kids.
No, we actually stayed behind until they kicked us out. So there was no.
Oh, that was cool.
Yeah,
No,
there was
it-
no.
I mean, if it
Traffic.
wasn't for the kids, I mean, we'd just be kind of just chilling. We'd get a drink and just relax because it's like a date
Yeah.
night. But you got to go pick up the kids from the babysitter, so it's a little different.
Yeah.
But yeah, the parking situation is definitely more difficult. But I think everything before the game started was a lot smoother, right? I didn't think, at least because I took my time to go in, I didn't go through like a huge crowd to try to get in.
Well, you had a bad experience that
The
Sunday.
first time,
so-
yeah. So
You had a
everything
bad
was much
Yeah.
much better the next day.
I would think so, right?
Yeah. And now I know that if it's raining, don't even bother to get out of my car because apparently they close the gates on you. So now I know better. And if you're listening, just so you know, if it's raining when you get there, just stay in your
Stay
car
in
because
your
they're going
car.
to close the gates. They're going to close the gates. Oh, and by the way, this is something that I do think that, and I hope a lot of people that are listening, maybe they're going to make it out to a Leagues Cup game. I need, because I don't think a lot of people knew this. And maybe they'll know it now that the first game's over. There's penalty kicks after a draw. There were a lot of people that were walking out in the 88th, 89th minute, I think, to beat the traffic. And I don't think they realized, or maybe they didn't care, but I doubt that. I really doubt that they would miss Messi's first penalty kick attempt. There was a lot of people leaving, at least in the south side, and I think maybe on the other sides, in the 88th, 89th minute to beat the traffic because they just assumed there was going to be a draw, maybe not knowing, hey, if there's a draw, you're going to go to penalty kicks, which is, by the way, very, very difficult or very stressful, very fun to watch also. So if you're watching this and you didn't know that, just know that if you end in a draw in the Leagues Cup, you go straight to penalty kicks. So there has to be a winner. So don't leave the stadium early because I'm assuming not only do they hate themselves for missing that Messi goal, but they could have missed the penalty kicks also. So, but again, that's very on brand, right? Because like that's what Miami is known for. The crowd's leaving early. As much as I hate to admit it, I mean, it's a thing for us, right?
Yeah.
And
are you a Heat fan?
I am not. Well, I'm a
No.
Heat supporter. I'm a Heat supporter. I'm a Brooklyn Nets
Okay.
fan. which is horrible.
Well, they leave early too, right?
Or they don't show up. There's nobody there.
Well,
We have no
there you
fans. We have no fans. It's like me and three other people.
To talk a little bit about the parking, just to finish it up, Joe Kerr just mentioned that cops kept coming in the green lot, kicking people out. So that was rough. And then we got a random mention for Fridge Guy Bryant, which, by the way, we actually got shouted on the Dan Lebitard show for the Fridge Guy.
Did anybody find out who the Fridge Guy is? Because I still don't know who it is. No? Okay.
I have no idea.
I also want to say congratulations to you guys. You guys were on The Guardian the other day, so that's pretty big.
Yeah, dude, that was crazy. That guy, that English guy, he was just like bang, bang, football questions. I'm like, whoa.
How did that
feel? Very cool.
That's pretty awesome, man.
That was cool.
It was awesome.
Well, the thing that's rough is that we got printed on the Observer, and it's like the Messi article, right? And then the name of our podcast and everything shows up. I was like, man, it would be really cool to have that newspaper so I could kind of just get that, because it's cool to have it just as the article of the Messi game. But on top of that, we're on print right there. So I would have loved to have that. But let me tell you something. I've been trying to figure out how I can find, and if anybody watching, maybe in the UK, can maybe get the Observer from this weekend and help us get that copy. I would love to get a copy, because I would like to get that and frame it, because I think it's really cool. Not only that Messi moment, but the fact that we kind of got shouted out there in that article. So very cool.
Yeah, anybody that lives in England or knows a guy that lives in England, let us know. Or as long as you know a guy that knows a guy. Now, if you know a guy that knows a guy that knows a guy, forget about it. Don't let us know.
YouTube's worldwide. I was talking to Chris earlier about just talking MLS strictly. And I was wondering, has there ever been a moment like this? Because the David Beckham debut, he was on one leg, he was injured. It wasn't anything special. I was trying to think.
The one I can remember.
I think you're about to mention the one. Yeah, there you go. That's the one I told Chris to go watch today.
Yeah,
that one was wild because it was a rivalry game. It was a derby, the LAFC and LA Galaxy.
Yes.
And he came on, and did he score twice?
Twice.
He scored twice, and he loves just talking poop. So like it was. I remember I saw that, and I remember I thought to myself as I was watching that, I was like, wow. Like, I wish I was a fan of that team for that experience right now.
That was a really good moment,
That was an awesome moment. That's a crazy moment. I mean, I think what we got on Friday was even better, but
you can't be biased, but go ahead.
Yeah, no, come on. The way that game ended, come on, nothing better.
I feel like because it's Messi, because he came on and all that, it's great. But this guy did it on a derby, It had a different, scenario, I would think.
And then one of them was from like outside the box off of volley. It was insane.
Yes,
I have to watch it back. It was such a cool moment.
I think for the fact that Messi's was the game ender is the fact that it's like bigger, but like Zlatan is like what? And the thing is, Messi's a nice guy. He's not going to be in your face about scoring his free kick. Right? But Zlatan is like standing there like a soldier, and I love that. I love that. Give me that. I need that in my life. I love that in your face. Like, I am better than you. So like that is amazing. The way that he was. That's very American.
That's why I wanted Ramos, man. I love Sergio Ramos. Again, that's my Real Madrid bias. But man, that guy will get in people's faces. I'm all for that.
Yeah.
Yo, look, I love Ibra. I think he was really fun to watch, especially since. I even love watching him on Ted Lasso. Don't tell me that character wasn't an Ibrahimovic clone.
Sava.
Come on, that was Ibra. So
they definitely played the script there for that reason.
For sure.
But no, going back to that, I think the moment Messi's moment was insane. It was surreal. I still, like you said, you still get chills, just talking about it.
Look, we were watching the game over the next morning. I was with my wife, and I remember we watched it in Spanish because I like watching it in Spanish. And with the call and everything, dude, and me and my wife both looked at each other at the same time, and we both did this. And it was a coincidence. We both did it because we both had goosebumps, and I'm just glad we got to do it. The only thing that I hate is that I didn't get to take my daughter because she's getting really into soccer now. I'm gonna take her on Tuesday. hopefully we get a cool moment on Tuesday.
Yeah,
All
I
right,
gotta take my son too. My son is obsessed with Messi. Everything's about Messi, So
yeah, well,
let's see if I can take
so
him.
Perfect
Tickets are a
timing,
little
perfect
tickets are a
timing.
little high right now, so I'm like, okay, let me
It'll
wait for a
drop.
little bit. Yeah.
So yeah, on
Hopefully.
Tuesday, my wife said that she's giving up her ticket to give it to my daughter. So I'm gonna take my daughter.
Yeah,
Um,
that's gonna be nice.
so we are 1 hour in, and I think it's time we start talking some soccer rumors.
Okay,
So
here we
there's
go.
been a there's been a lot of rumors circulating about Luis Suarez, obviously, right? That's like the main one, right? That's the main one. Now, I've been saying on this podcast that it's impossible to happen this transfer window for a few reasons. One, we don't have any more DP spots.
Correct.
Two, if he were to come on a DP spot, you would have to, let's say, for example, buy out Campana. And if you do that, you no longer have all the U22 initiative spots. So you have to lose
Correct.
all those players also. So that's impossible. And if you buy out, if you pay the fee to get him from Gremio, that's almost impossible also, because in MLS, when you pay a fee, that fee goes against your salary cap. The salary cap for MLS is 5 million. His buyout is 70 million. Even if they drop it to 15, that would still be 7.5 for every year, which is 2.5 over what the salary cap is for the entire year. So for all those different angles, it seems like it's almost impossible for him to come. But I'm seeing articles about him not playing yesterday. I'm seeing other people saying that he wants to come. So I turn to you, Nico, because I know that you do know some people in South America and your job and everything. What have you heard about Luis Suarez coming to Inter Miami before August 2nd?
All right, so let's be clear. You said you hit everything on the on the point to the T. Now, when we said that he was able to come here, we can all agree if he actually does come, there has to be no fee whatsoever. Right?
Can't be fee, right? Mm-hmm.
Can be a fee, right? Now, we all know that Messi and Suarez want to play together, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, we know that we don't have any DP spots left. We said that, right? Now, what if Luis Suarez was to play for the minimum salary for the remaining of the season, and then eventually get structured into a DP spot when the season ends? The minimum salary right now, I believe it would be, because there's only a certain amount of time left into the season.
It's half, huh?
It will probably be, yeah, exactly. The minimum salary for an international player is probably like what, 300,000, something like that. I don't have the right number now. Here's the thing, and I'm not a reporter. However, I do have my connections, and I do know a few people that have told me that this can happen. And here's the thing where I'm kind of, I don't want to say doubting that it can't happen or can happen, but let's go back in time. We've stressed as fans that Messi wasn't going to happen because of various reasons, right? We also stressed that Busquets was going to happen because of various reasons. We also stressed that Jordi Alba wasn't going to happen because of various reasons. And somehow the club managed to bring all the three together and make it happen. What makes us say that the club doesn't have, the right, tools or the right strategy to actually bring this guy in?
I think the difference is that, for example,
do we know what the amount of salary cap that they have left right now?
They don't have any salary cap left.
It's at zero?
Yeah, all they have is allocation money now.
Okay, so we have allocation money.
Yes, we have allocation money, and we also have Coco Jean, which I'm assuming we could put him on IR, or however they call say it in the MLS.
And if you put him to IR, you're able to bring in another player
and an international spot.
And an international spot for his salary or less.
Right.
I don't know. So, I don't know how much he was making.
I think it was 700 and change. Now the difference I think here is that in January or February, when they announced that when they announced that they were changing the rule to now you can buy out a player during the season, everybody kind of figured, oh, that's the Messi/Pizarro rule, right? Because if Messi comes, now we can buy out Pizarro. We also knew, Gregory all of a sudden is taking a DP, but with allocation money, we could pay him down. So even though we thought that it was difficult, we kind of knew how it could happen if it was going to happen. Now, the Jordi Alba thing, I'll give you. I wasn't expecting him to come on a TAM deal.
Yeah.
I think the biggest issue here is that not that Suarez wouldn't come on a cheaper deal. I think it's that you need Gremio to play ball. You need Gremio to help
And
you
that's
out.
the issue. And that's the issue. And let's take it to the other side then. Would you be willing as an owner? Would you be willing to have a player that tells you, "I'm not scoring any other goal. I'm not playing for you ever again"? Would you be wanting to have a player like that?
Well, it depends
Absolutely
because
not.
I feel in soccer, I don't I mean, and again, I don't watch worldwide soccer, so I can't say if this has happened before. In the NBA, it happens all the time, and the owners give in.
There
All
you
right,
go.
You know what?
There you go.
You twist my arm. But
You can
in
see
soccer,
you can
I don't
see
know
it
if
in the
that
Damian
happens.
Lillard. You can see it in the Damian Lillard deal right now. You know, he literally stressed himself. I'm only playing for the Miami Heat.
You see it
Whether
with
you
Harden
find
every year.
exactly. You see it with Harden every year. You see it with every player. I think LeBron James started that. You know,
Yeah,
so
but that's the NBA. I've never seen it in soccer, so that's why I'm saying I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know how the Brazilian owners. I don't know who owns Grêmio. I don't know how they would do it. Now, I could respect Luis Suarez trying to force his way out. I've heard some rumors that he's even offering to pay his wage back to come.
Yes.
But do you believe that Grêmio would go ahead and give him that? Because I heard that if he were to leave or say that he retired, they would have a no competition a clause in his contract, meaning
it's like when
they don't want him to play.
Yeah, it's like when you get fired out of your job and you get a severance package. You know, you gotta stay with a non-compete.
Exactly. So,
Yeah.
do you think that it could actually happen? Because I can see why it would be possible if he somehow kind of muddies the waters enough with Gremio where they're like, you know what, we don't even want this headache anymore. I don't know if he has it in him to do it like James Harden went and started like trashing the Brooklyn Nets and because look, I'm a Brooklyn Nets fan. I've seen it firsthand with Kyrie, KD, and Harden. I know firsthand how people force their way out of teams. I just don't know if Suarez has it in him, and I don't know if a Brazilian owner cares.
I'll tell you this: when last week when the news broke out, and you know the first thing that came out was you got to pay the clause, 70 mil, right? I said to myself, nah, it's not happening. He's actually going to come in December, So I was like, okay, he's guaranteed coming in December. The team's going to be structured next season, blah, blah, blah.
That's what I think. That's what most people figure.
Move on, right? And then you're able to see whether you keep Joseph or Campana. You give them time. There's 12 games. It's perfect. It's a perfect scenario, right? Now, a week goes through and you start seeing these things come from, Gremio, like you said, not only do they bring down, the price tag to 15 mil, but also you hear the coach say, stressing out in a conference, saying that he does not want to have a player that is unhappy. He doesn't want to have a player that, it's going to disturb the locker room. He
didn't play yesterday.
He wasn't even in the roster.
Stadium.
He wasn't even in the roster. He was in Barcelona getting his knee treated.
He wasn't even in the stadium, right?
So it got to that point right now, right? So how many days do we have left? Today's what? The 20.
Today's Sunday. The second is next
23rd.
Wednesday. So we got about 10 days, give or take. 10 days.
So they got about 10 days. 10 days. That's all I think about. Just 10 days. I think if Suarez is able to somehow come out with his transfer on a free deal, I think Inter Miami makes it happen.
Oh, I think so also.
Yeah,
and I
for
think
sure.
that
in those conditions, yes.
Yes, in those conditions, I 100% think it happens.
Yeah,
I just don't know
if the team has to do a trade, trading a player out to create some cap space or anything, Suarez is willing. Let's be clear about this. Suarez is willing to play for free for the next 12 games.
Yeah, kind of like what's his face was willing to do. Pizarro.
Yeah, Pizarro.
Pizarro.
Pizarro was willing
There
to
you
play
go.
for a burger and a coffee.
Yeah, but Jorge Matos was really pissed about that when he actually told him that. He said, "F off," like you wanna play. You've been robbing me $4.5 million every season for the last 3 years, and now because Messi's here, you want to play for free. You can go to Greece. It makes total sense.
But I will tell you, I think if the fan base were to hear Suarez all of a sudden his deal is terminated with Gremio, I don't think anybody would be shocked that he ends up here. I think everybody expects him to end up here. I think what everybody's saying this can't happen is because of Gremio. Like, I don't think they're gonna play ball. And my understanding is that his contract doesn't end in December. It ends in December of 2024. But during the offseason, I'm sure that there's other things that you could figure out. The legal change, and it'll say, "Hey, don't worry. If when you buy a fee, it no longer goes against your salary cap." I'm sure things will get figured out. I'm sure he'll end up here next season.
Yeah,
but now, it's
going back. Going back to that, like you said, that you can see that in the NBA, but not in soccer. I feel like there's been a lot of players in recent times where they're able to terminate their contracts so that they can just go and play elsewhere wherever they want. Like, for example, I think Cavani right now terminated his contract as well, and he's going to go play in South America. It happened with Suarez as well when he left Atletico Madrid. When he went to play in Nacional, he still had 1 year left on his contract, and he actually terminated his contract. Obviously, it was it was a different time. Like the actual club agreed for him, to move on. So it was like more. You can say, how would you say this? Friendly, I guess. It's
on better terms.
They were on better terms. Obviously, Gremio is gonna be holding on because he's an important player.
Well, you know what I think kills Inter Miami? I'm sorry to cut you off. You know what I think kills Inter Miami? That if Luis Suarez was trying to terminate his contract to go play for Barcelona again,
it's because he's playing with his friends. It's because it's Messi here. Yeah,
it's gonna be global news. As soon as it happens, it's gonna be everywhere that he was able to terminate his contract, and now he's playing with Messi. And Gremio is gonna be front and center in that news article, and not for positive news, right? So I think that plays against Inter Miami, because Gremio knows that what's coming with that transfer, right? They kind of gave him what he wanted, and now they're on the other end of that.
And I feel like Miami's doing the right thing. The directives, Jorge Mas, they're staying away from it. They've asked them, in several occasions, what's going on with Suarez, and they actually said, there's rumors, we negotiate, but there's nothing else we can do. Gremio put a price tag on the player, and unfortunately, we can't pay that price tag. So the club is doing the right thing. Now, if Suarez was to somehow be able to be free, then we'll talk.
I agree. I don't have any doubt that we're gonna see him here in Inter Miami. I don't know why I feel that way, but at one point I felt like that about Messi also. I just feel like it's just destined to be.
Like, more pieces need to be moved, I guess.
I just can't see it happening in the next 10 days. But let's see how maybe he'll go bite the owner. Maybe he'll figure something out.
And Chris Henderson, we trust, right?
That's it. He'll figure something out. At this point, his name just said the MLS commit.
Don Garber?
Don Garber.
Yeah, Don Garber.
Maybe he'll figure something out.
Throw in another DP spot?
Yeah. Well, I think that next year we're going to have another DP spot.
It's going to happen. Yeah,
I agree.
Absolutely. They need to open that up, man. They need to open that up.
For sure.
There's going to be an issue because there's a lot of teams that actually like to spend. Like, for example, Inter Miami is a team that wants to spend, that the owner is actually willing to spend. You have the other teams like LAFC maybe that likes to spend. The rest of the league doesn't really care about it, if you think about it.
And that's why I was going to ask you, that was my next question. Would you be for or against getting rid of the salary cap? Because I'm personally against getting rid of the salary cap.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where you're like, you want to get rid of it because, you see what happens overseas, so you see how teams, stack up and build teams around. But at the same time, I understand, the American point of view where it comes to like,
parity,
like you
keeping it an even field.
Exactly.
Because I know as an Inter Miami fan, it's but we'll be one of the good teams. But
the fact that we have no, promotion or relegation, takes into consideration when it comes to that as well. So
yeah.
I don't
like
mind.
the salary cap.
I like, honestly, I like both. However, I would think if they raised the salary cap, it will benefit a lot more.
That would do the trick right there.
I think it's very, very low. Right now, it's very, very low.
Extremely low.
$5 million. It's like
it's ridiculous.
You can work a roster with $5 million.
Well, I think that's before Messi's prices. Yesterday's prices are not today's prices.
I think they need to increase it at least by 3 times, right? At least 15 mil, and give us 1 or 2 more DPs. Give us 15 million, 5 DP spots, and then we're cooking, I think.
Yeah,
Well,
the problem with the MLS is that everything's controlled by the MLS. You know, like
right.
you don't have teams. You don't have teams creating their own revenue. Yeah, they create their own revenue, like with ticket sales. But other than that, sponsorships, everything is even. They
It's a
break it out even, so
it's a
it's
single
hard.
entity. It's like
Exactly.
technically we have team owners, but like they just have stock in the league. Like they're the owner, but they're not really the owner.
No.
They just have stock in MLS, which is wild.
Yeah.
But that's a conversation for another day. All
Yeah.
right. So we're running up on time, and just wanted to see what you had to say about the Leagues Cup. We won the first game. We have the game against Atlanta on Tuesday. How do you feel about the game on Tuesday? Like I know you said you think Messi might start. What do you think about the game on Tuesday? And also the final for the Leagues Cup is on August 19th. And then the
August
semi and then the semifinal for the Open Cup is on August 23rd. 4 days apart. Now you would figure
The
that with
finals
those
August 19th, and then
the
Miami
semi
has a game. The Miami
on
has a game on the 20th.
yeah, well they'll have to
They'll
move
probably have
that.
to move that
Yeah,
game.
that they'll move. That I'm not worried about. But August 23rd, they have that Open Cup semifinal. Now, I would assume that you don't want to play a full 90 with all your best players for both those games because it's only 4 days apart. If you had to prioritize one of them, would you prioritize the Open Cup semifinal or the Leagues Cup final?
Leagues Cup final.
Okay. But at that
100%.
because it's the final.
Because it's a final, yeah.
Okay. Well,
Because it's a
I'm
final,
with you.
you're probably going to play against an LAFC or maybe America from Mexico. The world's going to be watching that game. It gives you a straight shot at the CONCACAF Champions League. You already, even if you
Well,
actually, I think if
you're already qualified.
second
If you make
place,
the
you're already
final,
qualified.
yeah,
So
you
then
top
there you
three
go.
make it.
So then there you go. I get it. Maybe winning a title, the U.S. Open Cup will be nice, but the primary goal for winning the U.S. Open Cup is to qualify to play the CONCACAF Champions League, right?
I'm with you.
Absolutely.
I like the
So-
Leagues Cup more than Open Cup also. So, okay.
Yeah.
So that was my question. And then finally, playoffs. You think we're gonna make it? I think we're gonna make it. I've been saying it time and time again, and I've
So
broken down why.
So what's 12 points? That's a gap. 12 points. right
it
now-
might be 12 points. I'll tell you right now.
So it's
But,
12 points, and then they have 2 games.
we have one game at hand on most teams.
I think 2 against
But right
BC,
now-
which is
On the
Right.
ninth seed, we have 2 games, and it's 12 points. Yes.
so there
Yeah,
you
it's a
go. So if they win those 2 games,
12-point
it's 6
deficit.
points, right?
Mm-hmm.
6-point deficit with 10 games left. Hypothetically,
12
right?
games. 12, well, I mean, after the 2
I mean,
games, yes. After
if
2 games,
they're-
yes. Uh-huh.
if hypothetically they win those 2 games, I think it can
Mhm.
happen, honestly. And considering how the MLS is, and if we go back in time, what was a gap last year? Miami was, if I'm
Dead
not
last.
mistaken,
Well,
they
not
were
dead last,
last.
but they were.
Oh,
Yeah, they were
They
really
were
far
bad.
back.
They were
Yeah.
really far back, and they won about 4 or 5 games in a row, and then they stretched it and made playoffs.
And look, and
And they didn't even make playoffs as a 9th seed. They made playoffs as the
as a
6th seed, I think,
as a
right?
6th seed, right?
Yeah.
Look, if everybody was telling me they're not going to make the 7th seed and make the playoffs like last year, okay, fine, I believe you. It's only the 9th seed that we have to make. On
Yeah.
average, the last 5 years, the 9th seed has 41 points. We're only 23 points off of that. You have 12 games left, and 7 of the 12 are against teams that are either 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, or 14th in the East right now. They're not good.
Oh, I
And
didn't know
those are
that.
the
You see,
and those are the teams that we're going to be leapfrogging after we beat them. I think
Okay.
that we can win 7 out of those 12 games with
Yeah.
Messi and Busquets and all the
Super
new
good.
guys that are coming in. Everybody keeps telling me,
Yeah.
forget about it. I'm going to keep preaching it. And battered herons, you've heard it here. And I'm going to keep saying it. We're making the playoffs. Are we going to win? I don't know.
Uh,
We're making the playoffs, people.
And to go off that, I think the Leagues Cup is the best thing that could have happened to Miami because you do have those 12 games, but you're getting your new guys like Messi, Busquets, maybe Jordi Alba plays. We don't know. Diego Gomez, then Facundo Farias is about to come in. You're getting all those guys and creating chemistry in a tournament where it's going to be played in a month, right? Now, Miami winning the first game is actually even better because they get another game. They're probably going to
Mhm.
qualify now,
Right.
unless
At least the
unless
third
something
game.
crazy happens. Unless something crazy happens, they're going to have a third game. It's going to be played at home, right? The fourth game, if they qualify, is also going to be played at home.
That one, I
So-
don't know how that works. But the
Yeah.
third game, yes. If we
So
win the group, we will get the home game.
So all the way up to quarterfinals, I did the research because Miami was sixth place in the
The
2022 season
standings. Uh-huh.
standings. They're able to lock in all the way to the quarterfinals to be
Ooh.
home team.
Ooh,
So
I like that.
you're looking at maybe I think the team that they might
Four.
be playing at in quarterfinals will be FC Dallas.
Mm.
So that's if the MLS teams advance. I'm not sure about the Mexican teams, but obviously because the Leagues Cup is being played in the U.S., everything is played here. So Miami has that advantage against the Mexican teams.
Well, I will tell you one thing that I think that really stinks that not a lot of people have been talking about. We have 6 home games left in the regular season, at least, right? And if, let's say, hypothetically, we make it to the final in the Leagues Cup, then they move that August 20th game to another day, which will probably be a weekday, right? Because that's usually how they do it.
Yeah.
6 of those home games that we have left as of right now, 2 of them are weekdays on Wednesdays. If they move that August 20th game, it's going to be 3 weekday games, which always are so hard to attend. And I know people will probably still
brutal.
come out, but man, I really hate that there's a chance that we have 3 out of our last 6 home games are going to be weekdays, and only 3 of them are going to be on Saturdays. Obviously, that's only if
Yeah.
August 20th gets moved. If not, then it's 4 on Saturdays and then 2 on Wednesdays. But it's still brutal that we have 2 weekday games at least coming up, because I like a nice Saturday game.
Yeah, that guy that just went up said that it could be an Orlando game. Yeah, Miami's a home of Orlando. You know that.
No, and now more than ever. Are you kidding me? Now more than ever. It's the
There you
whole
go,
state
yeah.
is pink.
Yeah.
All right. Well, before I say goodbye to Nico and let you shout out, I don't know if Chris has a question for you.
I got 2, remember?
Oh, that's right.
Ooh.
That's right. I've seen some people bring it up in the
Oh,
comments.
no, for sure. We're getting to that one, but we're going to get to the OG one first.
Okay. Go for it.
Okay,
OG.
so
All right.
so let's just do this real quick, Nico. This is your first time on the show with us, so we're gonna have.
And by the
to
way,
whip
before you
out-
start, if
Oh my
if you
God.
haven't yet, you're watching, like and subscribe.
Yeah, man.
Just putting it out
Yeah,
there.
What are
definitely.
you guys
Yeah.
doing? What are you doing right
Uh,
now?
And if
Hit
you're
the
on
like.
audio,
Hold
go
on.
ahead, leave a review, give it 5 stars, please.
What are
If
you
you want to give
doing
1
right
star,
now?
just don't bother.
Get that thumb, press that button, and then put it in your butt. Sorry, maybe I went a little drastic there.
A little
But
bit.
so now I'm gonna slap this meat on your face.
Wow.
right?
Okay.
I know the guys in the chat are gonna like the way I just did that. So we got 5 pieces of meat, we got 6 pieces of toast. For those of you who know, it's great. For those of you who don't, this is a this or that sort of thing here. So Nico, tell me what you're picking here.
For the top one, there's only one right answer, number 3.
Dale, there we go, Nico.
And bottom, I think I'm gonna go with number 3 as well. Honestly,
There you go.
Okay, so you're picking
solid,
the standard.
solid.
let me ask you this. Let me ask you this now. From all the guests that you've had on the show, who the heck picks number 6 on toast?
Italy Jet,
There's a guy named Italy Jet that we had that picked number 6.
a
said it
Toronto
is-
FC fan.
Is that even healthy, dude?
It's ashes.
My
It's
God.
ashes. I don't know what that is. Yes, that's rough. That's rough.
disgusting, man. I feel bad for that guy.
He has
So-
a strong jaw for sure. He likes.
Oh,
He actually
man.
like number 5 on the steak. So
Yeah, he liked
but that's-
number 5 and number 6.
That's
on
a,
the
that
toast.
was-
Oh my
jeez,
goodness.
that's a freaking shoe. That guy's eating a shoe.
So before walking you towards the next question, right? So if you had to like rank vacations, right? Like from a 1 to 5, right? 1 being you'll never do it, 5 being everything's good, Lucas. Don't worry, Papa. So 1 being you'll never do it, 5 being you will do it, like it's like one of your main ones. Where would you put cruising on that list?
Cruising.
Yes, cruising. Is cruising like a top vacation for Nico, or is it like I don't need it in my life? It's the worst, or is it just meh? I
A
cruise.
2. I think a 2.
wow.
Wow, you're terrible. Well, not you're terrible.
Wow.
That's your opinion, but it's kind of a terrible opinion because
Yeah,
here's
no.
Steve Munoz is I guess earlier on a Discord chat, everybody was killing Danny because he said that cruises are great, which I agree with Danny, by the way. Cruises are the best form of vacation you can ever pay for with your money.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
No, but Nico travels the world.
I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, I get seasick, so I can't say, you know.
Ah, well,
I
that's a
like
valid excuse.
What?
And there you go.
That's a valid excuse.
Well, I
Yeah.
can't even question anything. Danny doesn't like bacon. I mean, jeez.
I don't like chocolate.
Oh man, you guys don't understand the kind of weirdos that you guys are listening to. I mean, look at Danny. He doesn't like chocolate. He doesn't like bacon. Like, is this guy even a real human or what?
Yeah, yeah. Well, to be fair, you know, you put out, you know, the red meat, you know, picture, and I'm Argentine, but I don't eat red meat. So,
Oh, okay. Oh, there you go.
Oh.
and there you go.
Richard Greenberg said that I need to put my screen from that video in the open. I would do that if I didn't think that there might be eventually new people listening and they might get scared off when they hear that random screen on audio, right? Because this is audio also, not just YouTube. So I don't want
Yeah,
to
I mean,
scare anybody off.
They're gonna think that thing from like 2020, freaking Momo's gonna come and attack them. You know, we don't need that in our life.
And Sadish, yes, I was just going over it a couple minutes ago. I do think they're going to make the playoffs, and I don't think that Messi's
good
going to
point.
spend too much. What, do you think Messi's going to be playing in the friendlies?
That's a good point. I mean, there might be something in his contract that says that he absolutely has to go to the Argentina national team at any time. So,
Okay, let me, and I know we're going to wait over, but I'm going to ask you one last question.
Are there
ahead.
MLS games during the FIFA international break?
I'd have to check. There might not be. They usually take a break, but I'd have to check.
That
I
would
did
be
have
an
a
issue.
question for you. And by the way, somebody just asked what my favorite ice cream is. Shocker, it's vanilla. I have I have a question for you.
Go ahead.
So, do you think Messi will ever play on turf? I ask you this question for this reason. So and I'm gonna die on this hill. I think we make the playoffs. But let's say it comes down to decision day, last game of the season, and it's to make the playoffs. We have to win. The last game of the season is in Charlotte. The Bank of America Stadium, they play on turf. So we need to win that game. Do you think Messi goes out there and plays on turf because it's for the playoffs?
No.
Wow. Okay.
I don't think so.
I mean,
I'm going. My opinion is going based on what Don Garber said the other day,
right?
Where
I know.
Where he stressed out saying, "I recommend teams that play in turf to actually put freaking grass."
Right.
So I'm pretty sure he was, you know,
especially if they want to host games for the World Cup in a couple of years.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't see Messi playing in turf. Has he ever played in turf?
I'm sure he may have, but I don't know. I don't know. He probably has.
Maybe when they played Champions League in like Russia or something like that.
I mean, I know that they play in Atlanta in September, but I don't think he's going to play that game. And then that final game in Charlotte. But the only reason I think that he might is because.
So how many teams have turf? How many teams have turf in the MLS?
I believe it's 5.
The Canadian teams?
No, it's
I think
Portland. Portland is the only turf team that's soccer specific. I don't know why they play on turf. New England,
Seattle,
Atlanta, New England, Atlanta, Seattle, and Charlotte. Those are the 5.
Montreal doesn't play in turf?
I don't think so. No. I believe it's just 5. I could be wrong. I might be missing one, but I'm pretty sure it's just 5 of them. And those are the 5.
Okay.
And Portland is the only one that plays in a regular, just a soccer specific stadium, but
that is turf, which is odd.
Oh, look, Richard Greenberg just said Vancouver, so maybe I was missing one.
Oh,
so
there you
Vancouver
go,
also maybe.
Oh,
Yeah.
Vancouver. That's the one that I forgot.
So 6.
So 6. But we don't. The only teams that we play with turf from here on out are Atlanta and
here we got Charlotte that they play on field turf. They have Vancouver Whitecaps that play on Politan, which I don't know what that is.
Like a hybrid. I think it's like a hybrid.
Yeah,
it's like half grass, half turf.
But now I'm looking, and Toronto FC plays on hybrid grass. It is named hybrid grass. New England Revolution play on field turf. Seattle and Atlanta both on field turf. Portland on field turf. So the only people that play on fancy, FC Cincinnati hybrid grass.
Yeah,
so
but
FC
grass. So.
Well, that's fine though. That's grass.
Yeah, that's grass. Yeah, that's grass.
So Toronto FC and FC Cincinnati play on hybrid grass. Vancouver Whitecaps have Politan, which is a German sort of grass, I guess. just reading on the specifics, and then everybody else just plays on like standard turf that you buy like at a Home Depot or whatever.
Steve is kicking me out of the show because I like vanilla ice cream.
Yeah, get out. Get out of here. Get out.
Vanilla ice cream is the best ice cream.
You don't even
And
like
I also-
bacon. I mean,
When
I'm
I, when I
supporting
order
you
my
on the
pina
cruise.
coladas,
Chris,
when I
you
order my
think-
pina coladas, I order them virgin.
Chris, you think he had vanilla ice cream today at the movies?
Yeah, for sure he did. For sure.
Let me say, I went to
Didn't
watch
even-
Barbie with my daughter today. Well, I wasn't a fan. I can see why people that liked Barbies when they were younger would like it for the nostalgia, maybe. But
Okay.
I didn't think it was that great. But if anybody's wondering if they could take their kids, yeah, it's nothing bad.
Oh,
Nothing,
okay.
nothing bad. It's PG-13,
Okay.
but you could take your kids. All the double entendre jokes will go right over their heads. All right. Well, Nico, thank you, man. We really appreciate you
No
taking
problem,
the
man.
time to
Appreciate
join
you
us.
guys having me.
Let everybody know where they can find you and where they can listen to you and all that other good stuff.
So they can find me at 2DN. That's where I work at. I do a lot of content there. We do a lot of soccer related content for the most part. Also on the podcast with my buddies at This Is Football, and on my Twitter right there, Nico Bravo _14.
All right. And you guys go on what? On what days? I know you said Thursday.
Sometimes we come out Wednesday, sometimes we come out Thursdays. Now it's
Okay.
just a matter of everyone's working and stuff like that. So
Scheduling
we're,
and stuff
we're
like
trying
that.
we're trying to catch on the right time, Yeah.
Nice.
Lay off
So-
Mr. Softy. Mr. Softy is
Mr. Softy is legendary, bro.
is
That's
the
good
real
shit.
deal. That's
Yes, it
the
is.
official tissue, please.
That is super official tissue.
You guys will be at the game on Tuesday, huh?
Yes. Oh, I
I
don't know
will
about
not.
Chris.
I
Oh,
will not.
okay.
You will not? Are you gonna watch it at least?
Yes, for sure, most
Okay,
definitely.
there you
If the
go.
prices
Okay.
are good enough, I might, but we'll see.
You guys think that the prices will go down on this game?
I think so.
I think
Tuesday
so also.
game, the prices. It's not going to be the first appearance. I think it's going to be lower.
Yeah, but it
think
might
it's
be
gonna
his
be
first start.
Yeah, yeah.
It might be his first. I don't think he's gonna start. I don't think he's gonna start just because I don't think he can put him out 90 minutes, and everybody keeps telling me that he doesn't like getting taken off the field.
And that's exactly one of the reasons why I'm like 50-50 about whether he starts or not. Because if Messi starts, he plays 90.
Yeah,
He does not
exactly.
come off.
And
So-
I don't see that.
Would Busquets be playing 90?
No, Busquets. You know what the
I
thing
don't-
is?
I don't see
Because
that
they,
as
like
fast.
we said, like you said, and you so eloquently put, they float around, and because of that, I can see them playing 90 soon. I think Tuesday is way too soon. I don't see it, especially because you don't need to win anymore. Like,
Exactly.
obviously you want to
because you
win,
won. Yeah, exactly.
but I think because you just won this past game, you take it a little easier, and you don't feel the pressure to win. If you get out with a draw, you're good at that
Yeah.
point.
Yeah, but
So-
at the same time, you lost a lot of pieces. You keep getting injuries left and right.
Yeah, man.
I think the roster is very thin right now.
It's
It is
extremely thin.
very, very thin.
Well, I guess look, I know we went over this. Is the longest episode we've ever had, so we appreciate you sticking with us, Nico. But
no problem.
starting 11, Suarez. I'm sorry, not Suarez. Like I'm already throwing Suarez on the
You're already
11.
excited about that. Yeah.
Campana or
Okay.
Joseph up top?
Next game to start, I'm gonna
Yeah.
throw in Joseph.
Joseph.
Messi-
Okay.
If Messi doesn't start, I'll throw in Joseph.
Okay. So do you think Campana finally gets to play with Messi on Tuesday?
Yes.
I hope so. I hope you're right. And then Noah Allen out on left back again.
Has to be.
Have you
no
heard anything
option.
about? Do you have you heard any idea when Jordi Alba might finally show up and play?
Apparently, he's flying in this week to do all the paperwork. So that's gonna take some time. He's still waiting on the visa paperwork. So we'll see.
Okay.
as long
And
as it happens.
Does Messi score on Tuesday?
He's gonna score a brace.
Ooh.
Ooh,
You know what?
that's
I think
bold.
Joseph's going to score a hat trick.
Oh my God! So we're gonna
Okay.
have 5 goals. Let's go, baby.
No, I didn't say Messi was scoring. I think Joseph, he showed up for big games. He showed up. Remember, he got a brace when he played against Atlanta the first time. The
Yes.
first time he played.
Yeah.
Remember, it's
Yeah.
Tata and Joseph playing against Atlanta again. Maybe,
So it's
maybe I went a
that-
little outlandish with the hat trick. Maybe not. But I think that Joseph scores. He gets on the board. And I think I think because Messi and Joseph have kind of gotten cool with each other, I think
Yeah.
Messi keeps him in mind. He tries to find him for a goal here or there. I think that Joseph has another big game on Tuesday.
Yeah, we're hoping for that,
Can't
right?
wait for it. Can't wait.
Yeah.
All right. Well, if you were listening on audio all the way to the end, I know it's a very long episode, but we appreciate you sticking all the way to the end. If you were watching on YouTube, thank you for watching all the way to the end. And if you were in the chat, as always, you guys are the best part of the show. We appreciate you joining the show and contributing, because without you guys, this just wouldn't be the same. Chris, any final thoughts for the people?
Catch us up again sometime this week. Hopefully, we do like maybe a surprise episode or something. Maybe not.
Yeah, we
Who
usually
knows?
come on Wednesdays at 9:00, but man, and we apologize because we were supposed to come on this morning because I couldn't, I didn't want to wait, man. I just wanted to talk about this, but things just happened and we couldn't get on this morning. We wanted to do cafecito with the Herons, but we weren't able to do it. But hopefully we don't have to wait that long after Tuesday to record, because man, just getting it all out is just so fun. So we'll see.
Yes,
Again,
it is.
Nico, thank you again for joining us. Everybody,
Thank you.
for
Thank you guys for
listening.
having me.
And if you haven't already,
thanks for
like,
coming on.
subscribe, and we'll catch you guys either on Tuesday or Wednesday. We'll see. Have a good one.